We like to raise several hogs a year to fill our freezer. And I want to show you this here, how we're feeding a 200-pound pig for just 50 cents a day, even with our crazy high feed prices. So just 3 years ago, when I was raising our first batch of pigs, hog feed was a little over $7 a bag, and now it's $17 a bag. And whole corn was between $3 and $4, and now it's over $10 a bag. Back then I knew that our conventional pigs and most heritage breeds were a lean pig that we call bacon pigs, and lard pigs were our smaller, slower growing, fat, flabby pigs. But I didn't know that they were so physiologically different. So what I'm talking about lard pigs is breeds like the Mangalises, like what I have here, American guinea hogs, coonies, large blacks, mulefoot, and there's others too. I can't think of them off the top of my head. But these lard pigs are able to thrive on a whole lot less feed. Whereas a conventional pig, full-grown pig, will require around 8 pounds of feed a day, which I think they're on 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons. A lard pig, like a cooney or an American guinea hog, only takes 2 to 3 cups of hog feed per day. That is if they're not getting any other forage or like kitchen scraps and stuff. I couldn't find a feed chart on these Mangalises, but I'm sure it's more than that. So I'm feeding them just 1 bag of whole corn a week. I soak the feed for several days and it swells up, so that makes it go a little further and they can digest it better. Whereas if I was feeding on a conventional feed chart to the conventional pigs, I would be feeding a bag of the $17 feed every 3 to 4 days, which would come out to about $5 a day for 3 pigs versus just $1.50. So you're probably thinking, if these lard pigs are so great, why aren't they the industry standard? Well, there's a couple of trade-offs. The first trade-off is lard pigs take 2 to 3 times as long, depending on the breed, to get up to slaughter weight. Even though if they're not getting any forage, they won't eat any more than a modern pig. But that extra time it's just too long of a turnaround for commercial pig farming. The second thing is that they're lard pigs, which, as the name implies or says outright, is they are raised for their lard. They're a fat pig. Instead of having an inch of back fat, they may have 4 inches of back fat. And up until World War II, that was a normal pig. Everybody wanted that fat. It was very valuable, just as valuable as the meat, because that was your cooking oil. Actually, back in the old world, every villager had a lard pig or two in their backyard that they would feed off of garden scraps and stuff from their own property, and milk waste if they were lucky enough to have a milk cow. And that was a common pig even in America all the way up until after World War II, when marketers marketed lard as being unhealthy and bad, so people would buy their highly processed, toxic cooking oils, vegetable oils, Crisco, and whatnot. So people thinking lard was bad for them, they obviously didn't want it anymore, and so that changed the market for pigs, a leaner, more muscular pig. And so lard pigs went out of style, and we got our modern pigs. And the modern pig, would grow fast, so it was just a win-win. And it didn't matter that they took a lot of grain, because farming had become easier. We were getting cheap energy, cheap fuel, tractors were more available, and so the lard pigs went out of style. Well, now come to find out, lard is a whole lot healthier than these highly processed oils that they've been making. And I think that extra long raising time of a lard pig is actually beneficial on a homestead, because over a year's time, you can feed a whole lot more kitchen scraps and other forages to it. Like, I've got a little over 2 acres fenced in here with electric fence, which you can do relatively cheap. I didn't have to feed my pigs at all for the month of September because of all the acorn. Right now they're not really getting much out of it, if anything, because they've cleaned this 2 acres out. And I think if we stop looking at lard as a burden and look at it as a blessing, that they'd just be the perfect homestead family pig. Actually, these lard pigs back in the old world were so important that if you went and visited somebody and didn't ask them how their family pig was doing, they considered you rude. So how's your pig doing? I actually try to make it a point to ask people how their pigs are doing if I know they have a pig, because of that. These are the first Mangalises I've raised. I raised a couple of lard pigs several years ago with some others, but I didn't even know the difference between them, so I didn't appreciate that. I just thought, I'm never going to grow these slow growing little pigs again. But so far, now that I know about them and know they're so different physiologically, I like it so far. I'm going to actually butcher one of these here in a month, and I want to share that with you when I do. And I'm looking forward to trying their meat. I've heard that it's marbled, especially these Mangalises are like the Wagyu or Kobe beef of pork. And we do cook with a lot of lard, and we always run out. So switching to lard pigs makes perfect sense for us. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thanks for watching, and God bless.